Welcome to the Amazon's podcast. I'm Glenn Young, owner of Amazon's Fitness Magazine. Celebrate the female physique. Subscribe to amazonsfitmag.com. The podcast is brought to you by GPS Photography and Video. Why photography and video? Because if a photo's worth 1,000 words, video's worth 1,000,000. GPSphotoandvideo.com and Amazon's Fitness Magazine is a publication of GPS Photography and Video. My guest, IFBB Figure Pro, Amanda Almodovar, just off of the Tampa Pro and finally back home after much traveling. Dodged a hurricane as well as I did down there. Well, tropical storm, whatever they want to call it, but it was a lot of rain. How are you?
We're here. We are home finally. I know, of course, of old times when we went down, there was just storms and rain and craziness.
Yeah, all the time I've been wanting to go to the Tampa Pro, and then this storm comes. So
of course you brought it.
Yeah, I guess so. But it was on the end, so didn't really affect the show, just affect traveling back. So flights were delayed and travel was slowed. So that was that.
It worked out.
Yeah, it did. So 2 shows in the bag for your inaugural pro season. What have you learned?
I'll tell you what, a lot. Honestly, I feel like the biggest takeaway for sure was that I belong.
Yes.
Something that mentally, we've talked about this before. Like I've set a lot of pressure on myself, a lot of expectations on myself in how I was going to show up and what it was going to look like stacked up against, repetitive Olympians and all of that. So being as young as I am and really holding my own and seeing that I compare well to a lot of these women who are a lot older than me. They have muscle density, muscle maturity over me. They have seasons under their belt. Seeing that I stack up well against them brings me a lot of excitement for the future, brings me a lot of hope and just understanding that, I do belong in the league and I really don't have anything to prove. Essentially, I just have more work to do. And so that's very, very exciting.
And of course you belong. I mean, you're just not someone that got a pro card. You went up to the big shows. You knew what to expect. You knew what the talent level was going to be or the talent pool. And then from the Chicago Pro and then going into Tampa, first call out in Chicago, then you get to Tampa. It's late in the season. Of course, you're going to see more bigger names because everyone's trying to claim that spot to the Olympia, and it's getting down to the wire. So I thought you looked great, but I'm a photographer, so I'm not a judge. What was the feedback that you were given?
So I spoke to Steve after Chicago. And had told me that conditioning was on. He said that he did want more delts and more back width so that my waist could look smaller. So that's what I received from Steve after Chicago. Then I went on and did Tampa. And after Tampa, I spoke to Tyler backstage, and Tyler essentially told me more of the same. But he basically said that I'm still bottom heavy, which I can totally see. So essentially I do have to change a little bit of the shape here. I have to cool it on the leg days, maybe drop a leg day. Matt and I are going to talk a little bit about how training style is going to change going into the off season. We have a lot of ideas. It's going to look very different than what I'm used to, which is going to be odd for me. But again, now it's all about refining and perfecting the shape. So yeah, it's going to be a lot more, back density, a lot more delt density, which is exciting. And just kind of keeping my legs where they're at and refining them because again, I do look bottom heavy. The upper needs to catch up. So that's going to be really our biggest focus going into the off season.
And of course, you're talking about Steve Weinberger and Tyler Mannion. The time from the Chicago Pro to the Tampa Pro was what? 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
3?
Yep, weeks.
Not much time to build
right.
Between the 2 shows,
right.
but great showings at both. I mean,
Yeah.
how did the fellow pros, fellow Olympians treat you? Were they impressed? Were you like, who's this rookie coming in here?
Yeah, I mean, everyone was very, very nice, which was like a beautiful thing to see. I mean, the camaraderie. I don't know about other divisions, but specifically in the figure division, I mean, girls were just super, super sweet to me. And I stayed to myself. I'm very quiet. I don't have any coaches, any family members backstage. Like, I'm just in my own zone, just in my own lane, doing my own thing. But to have seasoned figure pros coming up to me, Olympians, and just all the kindness that they had to share, just all the excitement when I told them how old I was. That sisterhood that happened right away is just a spark, and gives me a new level of understanding that, like, to receive that respect from them just goes to show that they see it too. You know, Thais and I became very, very close. She's very, very excited for my future to continue, because we did both Chicago as well as Tampa together, so that was nice. Cherish and I from Chicago got very, very close. We're now, like, you know, just keeping in consistent communication. We want to eventually train together, and things like that. You know, receiving that from girls that essentially I used to look up to is just honestly a beautiful thing. And I'm super, super excited to be in a division where, from what I've seen, the women are just very supportive and loving, and they give respect where it's due, regardless of who they are and how old they are. So
when they mentioned the bottom heavy, no consideration to move you into another category such as wellness, or up to another category, women's physique?
They didn't mention either. However, when I did do nationals in 2022, remember we had spoken that that's when Steve and Tyler were like, you should try wellness. So that's when I did, and then I was one spot from the double pro card, and then back after that was you know, you either stick to wellness and basically stop training upper body and bring that down and atrophy it, or you stick to figure and you kind of build a shape based off of that. So, you know, I chose figure because that's where my heart is. It's where it has been, always will be, you know, and I'm not opposed to ever dropping the heels and going women's physique, but as of now, especially with what they're awarding in figure, my density is not there yet. So I have to definitely perfect the density for this division. However, I do have to change the proportion and just get thicker up top to create that illusion and that shape. So Matt and I have talked a lot about leg training and how that's going to change. We've talked about adding like some circuit training, maybe some sprints in there to kind of, you know, not atrophy the muscle, but shred it up a little bit more instead of having that thick, dense wellness looking muscle, because my leg shape is already there. So we're gonna look at that. We'll see how that does. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting because, like, my legs have gotten to where they're at without me trying to get them there. It's just the way that I've been training, the way that I love to train. So it's going to be interesting to kind of chop that down a little bit and then add more to the upper. So we'll see how we can change the shape there.
And I was going to come with the follow-up question. And of course you answered it. After this, after 2 shows, you still are going to stick with figure and not float to wellness or up to women's physique. So I got you. And true to form, and the biggest thing is always listen to your coaches and your judges, and they're so on the same par with you. But I mean, you're 26 going on 27, right?
Yes, in November.
So much time, such a young pro. You know, who knows? You could end up like Ashley Jones and going to the Olympia in a 3rd division. You know,
you never know. I know. I don't know. I just do what the body's doing. Like, who knows? Even after this off season, I don't know. So we're just gonna run with it. We're gonna listen to the feedback from Matt and the judges, and that's the only feedback that I need to respond to and see what it does.
So much time, so young. Hey, got a long career ahead of you. So yeah, enjoy the journey, number one, and just steady as it goes. Steady as it goes. Speaking of, now that the season is over for you in 2024, the question I have for you is multiple choice. Are you going into the off season? A, the off season. B, improvement season. Or C, prove it season.
I love this question. There is no off season. We work 365 days a year, so that's
Yep.
that. I have nothing to prove because I'm doing what I love, and I don't need to please anyone or prove anyone in order to do that. So I'm going to go with B, improvement season, because there are always to be made. Lots, of course, being 26 and just doing my rookie season, seeing, and really just skimming the water of the opportunities that will come. So, tapped my toe in the water, and now we just improve and get better. This is really where the work starts, which I'm excited to refine and grow. So improvement season is beginning.
All right. Great answer. Love the way you approached it. Bottomless potential and so much ahead of you.
Thank you.
As you start now to relax, enjoy the journey, go out to the Olympia, work with different other sponsors because you're always trying to work on your brand as well.
Sure.
Going into 2025, would that be an early show, a late show, as the season progresses, or just day by day?
Yeah, we're taking it day by day right now. Honestly, like the biggest thing was I just needed time to let my body do what it wants to do post show. Enjoyed food, enjoyed memories with friends and family, and really just got home and just unpacked my suitcase from Tampa. Like took my button out, I took my athlete necklace out. So I legitimately just kind of reflected on it all. And so, taking the rest of the summer, which is really only like 2 to 3 weeks, to kind of just
you got more time than me.
I know, thank God. To kind of relax. I mean, training, I'm just, me, I haven't stopped. I'm right back into it. Cardio's right back into it. But in terms of timeline, not entirely sure. What I do know is the setup of how I did it this summer, with the end of my prep being aligned to summer break, honestly worked perfectly. While of course I would love to compete earlier in the season and hit a show like New York Pro, that would be awesome to do at home or whatever this is. I'm really gonna have to look at the timeline. I'm gonna have to set pace in terms of what my body's responding to health wise, shape wise, and also, teaching is a difficult task to do as I'm so close to show. So ideally I would love to jump into an earlier show to give myself more time in the season to keep it running, as well as to catch shows where not all the Olympians are, waiting to the end to qualify prior to Olympia. But that being said, we're going to have to see. I'm going to have to talk to Matt and go from there and kind of plan it out. So I'm not entirely sure.
But you got time, and time is definitely on your side.
Got nothing but time.
Great photo shoot with you in Tampa. Loved it.
I'm so glad we got it done.
Yeah, finally. And got some video, so I'll be shooting you some more video clips and start the editing process. So we have you in the September issue.
Yeah.
And we'll just keep rolling. But loved it. Talked about future shoots. What would you like to do? I mean, we could talk about cosplay, but what is your ultimate photo shoot that you would like to do that you haven't done?
I mean, I've never done cosplay. I think that would be really cool. Maybe like a Wonder Woman cosplay or like a Disney princess cosplay would be cool. Something of the sort, something creative. Because I've done a lot of, the typical gym shoots.
Right.
I would like to do like a fashion shoot, but like maybe like a ballroom gown or something like that. Something more dressy, not as. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe a wedding gown or more something like. But then if somebody sees you in a wedding gown, oh shoot, she got married. So that's you got to have the warning label out early. Say, hey, this was just a because there are a lot of boutiques and different things that are looking for models to shoot their gear, shoot their wear, whether it's bridal, prom season. you could pull off a prom season look.
Yeah, prom
If people would
dresses.
know it, you had the bridesmaids for formal gowns. So yeah, definitely could see that.
I like that idea. Yes, all the beauty stuff. That'd be fun.
Yeah, and like I said, there's so many brands out there that are looking for models to pose in their clothing and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, your sponsor is Animal, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And they had some great clothing where if anyone has been watching your YouTube channel, great gear that you went down there and met them and talk a little bit about your sponsor and the clothing brand that they're coming out with.
Yes. So guys, stay tuned this August, late August. They are dropping the very first ever women's apparel line. When I tell you these leggings, the sports bras, they are like butter comfortable. They also have a bunch of graphic tees that are dropping as well, in men's and women's. And that's actually how Animal and I had started. So I know someone named Steph. She works with Animal as well, as far as like their events and scheduling. And so she and her fiance work at Signature Fitness. So that's how I got the tie-in with them.
There you go.
Yeah,
Networking.
she had told me, she like reached out a couple months ago and was like, I know it's like too soon. It's the turnaround time is crazy, but tomorrow Animal is looking for models. She's like, I showed them your page. She's like, you fit the brand, you fit the look. They absolutely love you. Like, she's like, I know that it's crazy. It's tomorrow. It's in Jersey. It's 2.5 hours away. You're impressed, but like, she's like, I figured I just shot in the dark, ask you. And I was like, I don't care what I'm doing tomorrow, but I will be there. So I drove down 2.5 hours to the shoot. They threw me in all Animal gear. We did video, we did pictures. I shot with the team. I met Ken, I met Evan, all of their great athletes, met the whole staff and crew. And right then and there, I mean, it just was like a family feeling. And this is a brand that, I've said in my video, and I've said to Shah, who, runs all of the athletes in the roster. And I just told her, I'm like, this is a legitimate dream, because I remember being 15 and like stepping my first, or wearing my first like gym t-shirt. It was Animal. And I just remember like repping it daily. My mom was like, why do you always wear the same t-shirt? And just their vibe, the grit of it, the strength of it, just the whole model of the brand itself, and just that family feeling is something that just fits so comfortably. So I shot with them for the summer launch. And then after that, Shah just got in contact with me. And it's funny, the same week that I signed my first pro contract for Chicago Pro, my first show contract was the same week that I signed my contracts for Animal and the partnership. So
that's amazing. That's great.
Super, super surreal. Yeah, God works in crazy, crazy ways. So yeah, that was definitely, signing those two things in 1 week was like overwhelming blessing. And since then, I've just been in contact with them. We actually have an event coming next weekend on Saturday in Jersey at a vitamin shop to sell and promote, some of the products and things like that. So super, super excited to work with a brand that's just, they've been behind me every step of the way. They sent me like a whole box to Chicago of new gear and things like that. They're always messaging me, what do you need? What can we help you with? So super, super excited to be with them. It's honestly just it's a dream come true. So I'm excited to continue to work with them. And it's only going to get better from here as I work with them in the off season, and then with my next look at the stage as well.
That's a great backstory.
Yeah.
And, had you not taken that trip down to Jersey, like, oh, I'm in prep, I'm going to focus, you got to take that chance.
Yeah.
And you're like on a rocket ship burning hot with everything that you got going on. You got the major brand, and you're their brand ambassador. You hit 2 great shows and did well. So nothing but, the sky's the limit and beyond with everything that you're doing. So not just supplements, now clothing. And they're flying you all over the place to work their booths as well. They're flying you to Vegas.
So they're not doing a booth in Vegas. They're doing an event in a gym. But yeah,
okay.
I'll be there. Whatever they're doing, I'll be there with them. So once they finalize details and things like that, I'll be going to that as well. So yeah,
But all expenses paid. Hey, you're our brand ambassador. We're gonna fly you here.
Yes, animal.
So yeah, I mean that's huge. No, they're not doing it, but I mean they're flying you there. You ain't not going anytime you're not going into your pocket. That's a great thing. So
Sure.
you got a lot going, and can't wait to see how things roll out in 2025. Really, really a big fan and everything that you got going on. And with Animal doing all this stuff, you got a great relationship. And so now it's like just keep grinding. So good on you.
Yeah, that is good. I'm just trying to soak in all the blessings and just reflect on everything that it's been, because this summer has just been opportunity after blessing after experience after connection, and it's just it's overwhelming to like really think about and put it into perspective. I just honestly can't thank the people in my corner, just you as well, shooting with you and doing the podcast with you, and even James, like just all of these things I just can't be thankful enough for. So thank you.
Yeah, it's good for me to have you on here for sure, and definitely shooting you. And then, like I said, you already got you a great photographer in James Diaz who's pulling your content.
Yeah,
your YouTube channel is blowing up. So I'm like, so crazy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll let you out of here on this one because I know you got to get ready now to get into the grind that I am, that is teaching, and God bless us. Can't wait to December 20th. But anyway, for this semester, it is what it is. What are your short-term and long-term goals? 6 months out, 5 years out?
Ooh, that's a loaded question.
Yeah.
6 months?
Yeah, 6 months, a year. Long-term goal, I would say 5 years,
Okay.
Or even up to age 30, where you want to be. I mean,
yeah.
Obviously the Olympia qualification. I'll help you out. That one's going to be out there. Top 10 placing at the Olympia,
God willing.
It's going to happen because, I mean, you're doing everything right. You got a great coaching staff behind you and a great team. So, but anyway, I'll let you answer that.
Yeah.
Those are just my thoughts.
I love it. I love the belief in me. I swear everyone else believes more than I do myself some days. So it's just like, wow. Yeah. To hear that's very, very humbling. But honestly, I think the biggest thing for me has always been you hear a lot of people like, I want to get my pro card, or I want to step on the Olympia stage, or I want to qualify, or they have a lot of these like set in stone goals. And I think for me, both short term and long term, I just want to do what I love. I just want to do what I love with who I love. And so that's like very vague, and it's not as exciting as me saying, I want to step on the Olympia stage and be Miss Olympia. But for me, it's really just the journey. It's always been the journey. It's always been enjoying it and embracing the blessings of what it has been. So 6 months, I'd love to be continuously healthy. I'd love to have bigger shoulders and a wider back. Just as
yeah.
I'd love to have my students in a great space, both mentally and emotionally in my classroom. That's the most important thing to me, is just bleeding my love and passions into them and impacting them in a good light, as well as the people in the industry. And I guess, 1 year to 5 year is just honestly to make an impact wherever I go, whether that be on the stage, off the stage, whether it be through my YouTube channel, whether it be through my students. I think the biggest thing for me is just kind of leaving a legacy where it's like my life mattered, not in materialistic things, but in the way that I leave people. So, I mean, that sounds very vague, but I think that's just leading with love is the biggest goal that I have. And so doing that wherever my feet hit the ground is very, very important to me. And that means more than any title that I'll ever win, any trophy I'll ever have in my room that collects dust. I want to just leave an everlasting impact on other people and that means spreading light where I go, and that's through doing what I do. It's not what you do, but it's in how what you do impacts other people. So I guess that's my vague answer, but it's just the truthful answer.
I wouldn't call it vague. And I think that speaks very well to you being so humble and your humility. So love the answer. And everybody just got to stay tuned and keep watching, because you're already on my 2025 watch list, not just for photography, but as a competitor as well. So
yes,
look out for Amanda Almodovar in 2025. So great stuff.
all great things.
Appreciate you coming on.
Of course. Thank you for having me, Glenn.
All right. Talk soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Amanda Almodovar, very humble, great person, not just a great model or great competitor or athlete, but a great person. And look for big things to happen for her in the future. Can't wait to see it. She had a hell of a year, hell of a season. And so stay tuned. Coming up on Thursday, her partner in crime, Jess Falborn, IFBB Women's Physique Pro. Always fun to talk to, very charismatic, very beautiful, big head on her shoulder. She's got a lot of sustenance, so I can't wait to talk to her on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. So make sure you guys tune in. Until then, I'm Glenn Young, and I will see you on Thursday. Can you keep subscribing, keep liking and sharing. And thanks again, as always, for all the new subscribers to AmazonsFitMag.com. Talk soon.